Greetings and salutations, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Tree of Geek, Season 3, Episode 12, The Great Geek Debate. With us today, we have our, I wouldn't say you're a special guest anymore because you've been here a few times now, but we do have a guest named John. Say hello to the folks, John.
Hey, you guys.
How you doing today, John?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Doing fantastic. Josh, how about you?
I'm good. Do you know how badly I want to put sloss? Hey, you guys.
That's what I was aiming for.
Ruth?
No, I'm doing good. I am.
Good. So we're going to talk today about the greatest debates in geekdom and some that we thought should be thrown in there. So maybe you might go, I don't understand why this was included. It's because we wanted it to be included. We tried to think a little bit outside of the box here. This isn't just going to be Hulk versus Superman. We're going to try to think of things that are like which book is better, which franchise is better, who would win in a fight and things of that nature. For instance, we would say who shot first, Han or Greedo? John, you would say?
Han.
You would say?
Han.
And I would say Han. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of breeze through here. We're going to roll a D20, okay? Then to figure out what order we're going to go in here. Whoever goes first is going to pick one of the debates that they brought with them. And we're like, okay, we're going to talk about this one. We're going to go through. If we all agree, we're just kind of breeze and just go on to the next one. Now, if we disagree, we're going to discuss it. There's no reason to beat a dead horse if we all agree on something. Maybe somebody just throw in a quick tidbit of why, but then we'll move on. Does that sound good to everybody?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so because, John, you were the guest, I'm going to give you this D20 first. We haven't rolled a D20 on this show in a minute, man. We should bring that segment back. John, roll us a D20, and we'll see what you get. We can't roll on carpet?
13.
13, okay. Josh, go ahead and roll. It just sound. Oh, you need it for the sound effect.
Yeah, I was going to use the sound effect, though.
Boom, boom. We got a fucking Law and Order.
15.
15. So Josh, John, and I get an 11. So I'm going last. So there you go. Josh, John, me, JJM. So Josh, before we get into this, now that we know the order, we have to do our standard everyday practice of an hour-long section, whatever you want to call it, new in geek. So tell me, John, what few things do you have that are new to you in your geek world?
All right, so things that are new in my geek world. Got into Minecraft, got to watch the movie. Kid and I are starting to play Minecraft more. I realize I suck at building hard.
How was the movie?
I liked it.
Give it your rating out of 10.
I give it about a 7.5.
Okay. All right, man.
I mean, it wasn't like, I would watch it again, but I'm not going to go to the movie theaters to pay to watch it.
Is this chicken jockey as important as everybody's making it out to be?
I've seen so many videos of people freaking out.
See, that's one of the reasons why I gave it a 7 out of 5, because I'm like, really? It's like, yeah.
So that moment did it for you?
Yeah, I'm like, no.
Oh, it didn't? What? Oh, it dropped your rating down?
Yeah, I'm like,
that was just stupid, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
How was Jack Black?
Jack Black was actually funny as
How was Momoa, who apparently Emily does not find attractive? She's like, I don't really like that guy. And I was like, shit. All right.
She's either the only person alive.
She doesn't like his demeanor and stuff, I guess. It's just, even though he's an easy flowing guy, she says, I can't pinpoint it, but there's just something about him I don't like. I mean,
no, I'm
no Khal Drogo, but sorry, we took over your segment. What else do you got going on other than Minecraft? I apologize.
Other than Minecraft,
that's why it takes an hour.
Yeah, other than the other, I got Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered. Getting into that, I saw that came out and looking to buy that.
It's looking pretty sweet.
It is. I'm debating whether I want to go with the collector's edition, which gives me the extra stuff, or just go with.
You want my opinion?
Spend the extra $10.
No, I think you save the $10. That way you can get on Patreon and pay $5 a month, so you can see the Patreon episodes that Josh and I have been recording. We're recording one after this for $5. That's $60 a year. That's it.
Yep.
That's 2 cases of beer. That's one video game. Is it a full video game? 3/4 of a video game?
Not anymore.
I'm just saying.
Not anymore now.
But I will bet you
2
any
tanks
money.
Of gas.
I'll bet you any money they release a Skyrim, the final edition.
How much is your Crunchyroll subscription a year? I bet you it's less. I mean, I bet you it's more.
I looked it up. There's 3 tiers from $8.99 up to $19.99 a year.
$8.99.
Or a month.
So you pay more a year for Crunchyroll than you do for our Patreon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just asking.
Are you kidding me?
Do you got anything else?
So,
I'm just busting your humps here, man. I haven't seen you in a while, man.
So speaking of anime, I actually just finished one. It's called "Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon?"
No. But tell me about
That
this.
depends. Are they chained to the wall?
Did I put them there?
It's a little iffy.
I mean, it was kind of like I was like, all right, I'll look at it. But
I bet you did.
of course, according to a movie I just watched that we'll get to, everyone has a fetish.
okay.
So
But anyway, it's a decent anime. It has a great storyline to it.
Is it about girls in a dungeon?
wait, did you say Greek or great?
Great, but
okay.
it does tie into some Greek stuff. So
Oh, okay.
So it basically
Greek
started.
anime.
It kind of starts off with this kid who's like trying to become a hero. They're in this dungeon where kind of like just things spawn, and the more you kill, the more you level up. But he really sucks at it because it's tier based. So
Is he like in another video game like
no,
the
this
last one you
is
talked about?
no, it's not. This
This
is
is like a DBZ level up
Is it more
instead?
like Goblin Slayer, like where you level up with your guild?
something like that.
Or is
yeah.
this more like he physically gets stronger as he fights?
He gets stronger as he fights,
okay.
but it's like
Is he the chosen one?
we don't know yet.
So it's a video
Okay.
game from the character's point of view.
Oh, okay.
But what happens is, in order for them to gain like levels and gain power, they have to like be part of what's called a familia, which is governed by a god or goddess. So this is run by
Amelia's family, though, right?
Yep.
Family.
So it's funny because there's Greek pantheon, there's Norse pantheon. So his goddess is a Hestia. So he's actually working with her, and basically what's going on is like as they mark you, you get like an emblem. As you level up,
You're
get
branded.
different- You get basically like different skills, different abilities.
Is this Nexium? You
Yeah.
just got branded.
Basic.
I mean, it's a girl in the dungeon and they're getting branded. I'm just saying. It sounds like Nexium to me.
But anyway, as the story progresses, like he has to go through like a lot of adversity. It does get dark at times. Like you get to see some.
Well, there's not
death.
a lot of light in the dungeon.
I mean, it's yeah. But anyway, there's 5 seasons currently. The 5th season just came out, but it's not dubbed. So I just finished up season 4, so I'm waiting for that to come out yet. So
Is that on your Crunchyroll service?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yep.
They apparently, I mean, a lot of people, Zach likes that stuff too, the Crunchyroll thing.
But right now, I just finished that. So if anybody out there has any other recommendations, I will gladly
Tell me,
take them.
I want to know in the comments, am I right with my Nexium analogy? I want to know, does that chick who played the reporter, does she do any voices in it? I mean, she's got to get a career back at some point.
I don't know.
Josh, I got to shut the fuck up over here. What is new in your world of Geek? I'm sorry, guys.
You're good.
Oh, man. I'm on one tonight. I'm feeling good about this episode.
All right, well, I have
Well,
not
like-
seen the Minecraft movie yet, but I have heard really good things about it. So, I mean, there's always that. I did, however, watch Mickey 17, the new movie with Robert Pattinson and Mark Ruffalo and a couple of other people that you might know. Super quick synopsis. He signs up as what they call an expendable. Essentially, he does the work nobody wants to do, and when he dies, they just print out another one of them.
So he's Dolph Lundgren, just signs up as an expendable.
It kind of reminds me of that book series I read, The Undying Mercenaries, where they're soldiers, and when they die, they just print another one out. But and we follow Mickey number 17, and I won't give anything away. It is a fairly new movie, but I give it like a solid 7 out of 10. It was an entertaining but thoroughly enjoyable movie.
And
Now,
7 is good on our scale, right? 7's
yeah.
just, it's a good. It's not great. It's
For me,
good.
a 7 is a movie that I would 100% watch again just because I felt like it. Whereas a 6 is like, I'll watch again if it's on. Does that make sense?
No, perfect sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like The Gorge is an 8. That's a solid
totally watch The
movie
Gorge
that
again,
I
man.
would
That's
look
a good movie.
forward. Like I would plan to watch it again. This one, it was a great put on my monitor at work while I'm working, or you can put it on while you're cleaning or something, and it's just an entertaining, fun movie that has a few kind of intense action sections, but at the same time, it's not. Like it's definitely a fun. Like you can tell they probably had so much fun making this movie.
I'll have to, when we're done watching Yellow Jackets, we're finishing up season 3. I'll have to download it because Emily wants to watch it, so it's one that I can't do on my own. So we'll.
Gotcha. No, it's a good movie though. I do recommend it. And I'm not a Robert Pattinson fan. I thought he was okay as the Batman, but certainly not my favorite by any means. Actually, I don't know of any movies I actually liked him in, but this one I have
That one
to,
Harry Potter movie.
Yeah, because he died. This one I have to give credit where it's due, though. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay. Anything else?
Another one I thoroughly enjoyed that actually you just got me to watch today. And I make this horrible mistake, people, of when I need something to watch, I say, hey, somebody throw a movie out. And Michael is always the first one to throw a movie out, and it's always something I know I'm not going to want to watch.
Oh, but I knew you'd like this.
But every time, it's been a movie I enjoy. And today was Heart Eyes.
I know you.
Heart Eye, it's a fun, like, super relaxed horror thriller, slasher mystery movie that was actually absurdly entertaining, and I found myself focusing more on it than I did.
It's a good old, it's a throwback from the 80s and 90s, I'm telling you.
Word,
man,
it was fantastic. It's just a serial killer who kills couples.
He has this light up mask with the hard eyes.
Once he gets his eyes set on a couple, he won't stop until they are dead. And of course, it has its classic twists and it has its turns, and it was funny at points. Like
Dude, I laughed a lot.
There were certain scenes that you could tell
weirdo, so.
They weren't written to like, oh, let's give a good laugh here, but it was just written as a why not? And it was hysterical for certain parts. Like I gave this one a 7.5 out of 10. Like I
gave
liked
it an 8 out of 10, 7.5.
I liked it more than Mickey 17. Like I would actually go watch this one again just for fun.
Right on.
But then moving on, I finished Wheel of Time season 3.
Woo, woo, woo!
I am not going to go into that other than holy crap, I'm like obsessed.
We're doing an episode on it.
I am obsessed with this universe. There's so much depth and lore to it, and in I think 2 weeks it'll be the next episode that you hear. Either 2 or 4 weeks. I'm not sure if it's the next one or the one after
next
that.
one we're recording.
It is? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then, yeah, definitely look forward to that because, hell.
Spoiler, we like it.
Oh, and spoiler, there will be spoilers.
Yes.
I have a lot to
so
talk
much
about.
Spoilers.
John, you need to watch 3 seasons and read 15 books in 2 weeks, okay? Okay.
14 books, John. We'll knock it down. 14 books.
Yeah. And then finally, the Predator Badlands trailer did drop recently, and
I'm going to let you just take the reins on this.
So, okay, so I am a huge Alien fan. I like the Predator movies a lot.
We did episodes on them.
We did. And so you know, if you've heard them, that Michael is a much bigger Predator fan than I am, and I'm a much bigger Alien fan than he is. But we're both really pissed off right now because
seething.
I put in my notes within 12 hours. Let's dumb that down to like 4. Within probably 4 hours max, you could not open Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, anything without seeing a thumbnail of a major spoiler from the trailer. And sure, maybe it's not a major spoiler, but
we're not going to say it because maybe somebody in another country right now that doesn't deal with that stupid shit, maybe they haven't seen. So we're not going to spoil it.
No, we're not going to spoil it. But all I'm going to say is like, I have no problem watching the first trailer, but then I usually avoid them until the movie comes out. Michael tends to just avoid the trailers altogether and be pleasantly surprised. Neither one of us can do that when you're posting this shit everywhere you turn around. Like,
I get on Instagram to put a post out for us.
Yes.
And boom, I'm just getting attacked.
Like, there's probably a billboard on the way to work now with it. Like,
probably on a bus.
It's very frustrating. But that being said, I definitely have some nitpicks on the trailer. But all in all, I have very high hopes. After seeing what Dan Trachtenberg did with Prey, I'm really looking forward to it. And I've had my nitpicks off Mike. I won't get into them now. But
wow, who's Mike?
Fair point.
Oh, off mic. Oh,
off mic.
I thought you kind of looked at me. I was like, what?
No, I was saying off mic. But no, I'm very excited for it. And I'm also really excited for Alien Earth that we still don't have a freaking release date for. It just says summer of 2025. Well, we're pretty much in summer.
Yeah, it was 84 degrees today.
Holy crap.
In Pennsylvania. Not Arizona, Pennsylvania. John, Predator or Alien franchise, which one do you like more?
Be careful. This is a friendship deciding question. Which one would you rather watch? Which one do you think is 100% more your speed?
You're stuck on a tropical island by yourself. You do have a TV set and some DVDs, but you're there for 1 month, and these are you only have the Alien franchise or the Predator franchise to watch. Like, that's it.
And you may not say AVP, that's a cop-out. And nobody would pick that. However, while he thinks, they are saying now that the Dan Trachtenberg and Fighty Alvarez possible AVP, apparently the talks of that are becoming closer to reality. Like, there's some serious talks happening now. So
That's because they're both doing the franchise.
Oh, I really hope.
They're doing this some justice these days.
I would love to see them revive the AVPs in a good way.
Well, John's like an android and he's rebooting, so just go on to your next Tree of Geek.
I was like,
Or
he looks
your next- like his eyes are rolled back. There's a Wayland Yutani thing there or something. I don't know.
Andy. All right, well then, while he
Written on the back of
thinks,
his-
the very last thing I wanted to mention was I have officially finished draft number 2 of the book I wrote, and I need beta readers. So if you want to actually read it and give feedback, reach out to us.
Are these just short stories you send to Penthouse?
So
Just-
I put them all together.
what do you call it if you take all those stories you send to Penthouse and put them together in one thing?
There's a name for that, but I can't remember what it is.
Is Penthouse still a magazine?
I have no
I don't know.
idea.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, so if you're interested in checking it out, or like I'll send you snippets just to see what you think overall.
I read it all the first version, and I liked it.
A lot has changed, but not enough that like it changes the story. It was
You told me a couple of things
it
you've
was
added.
flushing some things out, re-explaining things that I realized because I read through it for the 30th time, and I felt like, oh, that's really vague. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. That is the last thing that I have. So, John, you are out of time.
AVP? Is that your answer?
No, I'm gonna say Predator.
Yeah, you're damn right to say the
'Cause I'm just thinking of the movies, and it's just like, to me, Alien to me is just repetitive as I'm going through it in my head.
They're both pretty repetitive.
But I mean, they are. But if I had to watch one over the other, probably Predator.
All right, my turn. All right, so we've already wasted our whole entire time. He's signaling me I got 40 seconds here. Whew, here we go. My new and geek. Trailers for Predator Badlands you already talked about, and Wednesday have dropped. I've not watched either of them. I don't want spoilers. Don't message me. Don't interact on social media. Don't tell me anything. Daredevil finale, if anyone wants me to spoil it for you. John, did you watch Daredevil?
No,
What the? Are you even a comic book fan?
I'm
my
not. I don't like
God,
Daredevil.
did you watch it?
First episode. I told you I was going to start it when I finished Real Time, and I'm very much so looking forward to the season.
Yeah.
What is there, 8 episodes? I
8
think?
episodes. Yeah, that's what we're
Yeah.
doing now. That's the standard 8 episodes. It needs 10, but that's fine. I liked it.
There are people in line, like critics, saying that alone is going to revitalize the MCU. So
the story. What really sucks is you can't put Kingpin in a movie because of rights.
Yeah.
And who owns shit. So, but I thought it was a really good start. They've already, I think, filmed all or half of season 2 already. They're already got it like half and ready to go. So, and we're gonna get some Punisher stuff more, especially the way they ended it. Man, whew, wow. Friday the 13th. Some Jason fans out there. Pre-production has officially started. And I guess maybe that has on Harry Potter too. I don't know if you guys seen all the casting on that. Wheel of Time. I obviously loved the season finale of 3. We're going to do an episode on it. I have read all the way up to book 3, 0, 1, 2, and in book 3, I'm on chapter 9. I finished today at work. Do chapter 10, maybe chapter 11 tomorrow. I have a half day, so maybe not. And then there's some new Wayfinders TV show where some high school kids, I guess they did a pilot back in 2023. These high school kids get thrown into a D&D medieval world. It's being shot in Ireland right now. I can't figure out where this thing is going to be on any streaming service, but apparently the pilot did good enough that they're now doing season 1. I'm interested. I like some fantasy shows. I need some more fantasy shows on TV because I swear I will find somebody and give them an earful if they do not give me season 4 of Wheel of Time. I'm just saying, man. It's not greenlit yet at this moment in time. So, wow. All right. So let's just dive headfirst into this. Make sure there's actually water in the pool first. You know, okay. I got to say this just real quick. I'm doing my horror movie journey. I watched Bolt Neck today. Has anybody here seen Bolt Neck?
no.
Also known as Teen Monster in some places. Joey Lawrence is younger kid from Blossom. And his name's Frank Stein, obviously. His dad is Judge Reinhold from Beverly Hills Cop. Anyway, Ryan Reynolds. I sent a shot to you guys on the thing. It says, this guy, do you recognize it? Ryan Reynolds' like 5th movie. And apparently he was kind of, I read an interview where Joey Lawrence said he was kind of hard to work with, just a little bit. Now he's saying it wasn't like mean or anything, but the producers were kind of mad at him because they weren't doing him what he wanted to do. They said he was doing a cheap Jim Carrey, but like, I guess Lawrence said they just didn't understand who Ryan Reynolds was yet at that point. I don't know, but it was a very interesting movie seeing him get turned in, like his brain gets switched out of the serial killer's brain. It's not that great of a horror movie. It's got a great soundtrack though. I like the theme music, but it was just weird. So that was kind of a new horror thing for me. But let's dive into this thing with some debates. We're going to speed through this. We're going to go so fast through this. We're not going to talk for 20, 30, 40 minutes on anything. So how did it go? Josh, Johnny, me. Josh, what do you want to discuss / debate and argue about first?
All right, so I figured we would start out.
We'll go counterclockwise. John will say, Okay.
So I figured we'd start out with kind of an easier one, one that I know we've talked about before. So, are you Team Cap or Team Iron Man? Who was right in Civil War? Like, now you can look at movie, comic book, either one, but they both follow the same premise: the registration versus not being government controlled. Essentially, what team were you on?
Team Cap all the way.
Team Cap?
Yep.
I agree with John. Team Cap.
Wow. Yeah, I'm Team Captain as well. I definitely felt that while the whole registration thing was noble to an extent, I definitely felt as soon as you go more corporate, I guess you could say, or in that case, government corporate or whatever, things just go to someone else's agenda and it all goes to shit in a handbasket.
Government should have done their job more and we wouldn't have had to have so many vigilantes out there.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah.
There's that too. So, and for every one of these, if you have a different opinion, please feel free to chime in, throw us a message on X, on YouTube, or if you're listening to it on there, you can throw it down below, and we will more than happily get back to you. Yeah, so any one of these, please, we want to hear your opinions. So with that said, I guess that was a really easy one to start. Team Cap all the way. John, please, what is your first one you want to look at?
So my first one is going to sound really stupid, but I've always thought, like, in a computing like takeover, who would win over anything, Skynet versus the Borg? And I say this over Matrix because when Skynet becomes sentient, basically, it learns how to go back in time to start killing people, whereas the Borg don't do that until like later episodes into Star Trek. But I'm thinking, even if it doesn't come down to projectile weapons, strength.
Okay, well, you can't give your pick. So, but that's your question. You want to debate who would win in an all-out battle, the Borg versus Skynet? Okay, my answer is the Borg. And I don't know if somebody's going to disagree, so I can give my answer why. Josh, who do you say, Borg or Skynet?
I would have to go with Skynet.
Okay, we're going to talk about it eventually. Yeah. John, what did you say?
So I want to say Borg, but my only thing is, like, with Skynet, with how advanced it was getting over the first few years, I don't know where they would be in that timeline. So
let me ask you this: how many planets does Skynet control?
Well, they're only on one. We know of.
One. Okay. So how many quadrants have the Borg assimilated in? I'll make this easy for you. There's 4: Alpha, Beta, Delta, and Charlie there. They've been in all 4 quadrants. They have assimilated thousands of worlds, thousands of species, who I'm sure had some advanced computer technology, maybe even some robots and some Terminators, and they still assimilated and conquered entire solar systems. I say Borg. I'm sure they've run into a computer virus or something somewhere. And they adapt pretty quick to laser rifles and phasers.
To laser rifles. And
yeah. I mean, you got to keep, switching your modulation, You get 3 shots off and they have personal shields around them. And they put their nano tubes into you and you're instantly, like, I don't know, within 20 seconds being turned into a Borg. Now, that doesn't work on a Terminator, but it works on, anything else that they have that's bio. So.
No, I mean, fair.
Why do you think Skynet wins?
I went Skynet simply because, unless you subscribe to some of the later movies, they are strictly software-based, so to speak. Like, they live in the cloud. They live not in our physical realm. And from my point of view, now granted, I don't know that much about Star Trek, but I've heard enough from you guys to know that the Borg is, like, super assimilation central. But I feel like they could just slip right into the programming and just have their way with them.
Okay, well, that's a valid idea. Sure,
an idea. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, can slip in there through their Wi-Fi and.
But see, I thought
do whatever,
don't the Borg assimilate through the biology, or is it through like?
Yeah, they can assimilate through biology, but they also have their cubes and spheres that can like blow a fucking planet apart.
Right. But what I'm thinking is,
Earth,
like, Skynet doesn't have a biological anything to assimilate into.
No, so they don't want to.
Even
if they can't assimilate, they'll just destroy it, is what I'm saying.
Because, like, even the Terminators can't do anything. I mean, they can't be taken over if they're strictly mechanical, right?
Right. No, I agree on that point. However, my question is, how does Skynet get to the Borg? Do they have spaceships? Do they have transporters? Do they have transwarp tubes? Do they know how to deal with was it chrono radiation that they did in First Contact where they went back through time? They have that maybe, because they have but it's a small, and then you can't send organic material through. So I mean, I'm just curious. How do they attack? I understand how their defense against the Borg is, but what is their attack against the Borg? And how do they stop the Borg from blowing up the planet that they're on? Like just sending fucking torpedo after torpedo after torpedo to just blow up their mainframe.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, now, like when it was like RoboCop versus Skynet and all that shit, I was like, what? Like, you ever read that fucking comic? But anyway, we can't spend too much time on this because we have a lot of topics to get through. So I guess it's my turn next, right? Does anybody else have anything else to say on that?
No, go ahead.
All right, I'm just going to kick this one off. I'm going to go right down my list here. First one, Captain America Steve Rogers versus Batman Bruce Wayne from the comics. Who wins this fight? We're going this way. So, Josh, who wins this fight?
Are gadgets allowed on Batman's side, or is it just like straight, we're going to punch this out?
They meet together in a neutral city. We'll say Chicago. They're all patrolling Chicago because you can't have Gotham and you can't have New York. That's their home ground. So we'll just throw them in fucking Chicago or Detroit, whatever. And they just like, oh, what the fuck? And they just start fighting each other. So no prep time, all you people out there. Well, if Batman would have already known through the multiverse that he would have existed and already had a fucking plan. Like, shut up.
I would have to put my money down on the Cap.
Captain America?
Just because while Batman is a pretty solid competitor, he's still 100% human, whereas Cap is a super soldier who he's got the healing factor, he's got the strength factor. I just feel like in the long run, he's going to at the very least outlast Batman.
Okay. John?
This is a hard pick. I'm going to say Batman.
Okay.
Just because he's taking down bigger guys and he's going to be able to fight dirtier. We all know that Cap tries to play fair. But comics
say that, but he killed people in World War II. I'm sorry, it's not my turn yet.
No, that's true.
comic Captain America maybe might be able to take him. Movie Captain America, no.
Okay. So you're drawing the line. You're saying cinematic, no. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think cinematic MCU Batman would, or MCU Captain America would take out Christian Bale and he would take out Robert Pattinson. I don't know. He might have an issue with Affleck, but I think he'd take out Michael Keaton as well.
That's why I said like movie, because I'm like, well, I mean,
so I'm gonna say first off, Bane broke Captain America's back, or Bane broke Batman's back.
Yep.
Captain America beat him. Now in Avengers versus JLA, you have Captain America and you have Batman on a rooftop. A bunch of shit's going on in the background. They're fainting. They're moving their foot. They're moving their thing. They throw a punch. Nothing. Nobody's landing. They're just feeling each other out. Batman actually says, given time, this guy could beat me.
Really?
That's what he says. That is the line that is written. And he said, and Captain America's like, well, I don't want to fight you. There's bigger fish to fry right now. See, even Batman admits, over time, he could lose to Captain America. And Captain America is fucking, dude, he held helicopters and shit. And like, he's super strong. He's super fucking fast. He's taking on Wolverine and fucking, he kicked in Ultimate Avengers. He like kicked fucking Hulk in the nuts, took him out. Like, my money's on Cap. So 2-1, Cap beats Batman. Now, given that, and I will say though, if like out of like 10 fights or something, 5 fights, if Batman does have prep time, like if he fought him and lost and came back again, Cap might have trouble the second time around. But so that goes right back around. Now it is Josh's turn.
All right. So my next one up, we're going to jump from Marvel over into more of the magical school of thought. This is kind of which is better. Think like Harry Potter, when they had all different schools come together and they competed. And which one do you think is better as far as like their students would win in a straight up,
I guess I misunderstood.
War between students, I guess.
Oh, shit. I'll have to rethink my answer here.
Or, give the answer you were thinking, too, because I was very general about it. But Hogwarts versus Breakbills. Breakbills is from The Magicians. Hogwarts is from Harry Potter. They both have their ups and downs, I feel. So which one do you think is just straight up better? Which one teaches better? Which one rolls out better magic users? Which one would you rather go to, maybe?
How much Magicians did you see, John? I know you weren't really into it.
I got into like maybe season 3.
Oh, you did watch the first 2
that's
seasons?
Enough.
Okay, yeah,
shit. That's
then you
enough.
can definitely give an answer then. All right. I mean, not that you couldn't before, like you're barred.
Yeah.
But all right, well, it's your pick first, so.
I'm going to go with Hogwarts.
Okay.
I feel like they have more creative.
Not yet. Not yet. We're forgetting the rules here. We got to say what we're doing, then we come back around. You say Hogwarts. I'm going to disagree and say break bills. Josh, what are you going to say?
So I actually give this a heck of a lot of thought, and I've got to go with break bills.
Okay.
Go ahead, John.
So, John.
It is really hard to say it and then not defend it.
I know. But it's a round table. So, John, why does Hogwarts beat break bills?
I feel like they have more creativity and more access to be able to do things without actually having to chant spells. Because, I mean, there's some spells, like silent spell casting, they can do, and just middle of the chant, just done.
Okay. I would say they have Margot. Break bills has Margot, and she is a force. And they have Elliot, and he's a force too. But I think because they have modern technology and they understand the Muggle world, that if they really came down to it, and then they've used swords and fillery. Some of them know how to use daggers and swords. The one princess lady, like, I mean, technically she didn't go to Break Bills, but she's part of the Break Bills crew now. They've dealt with the wheel of time, so to speak, over and over. Dean Fogg, man, he's cool as shit. But they know how to use swords, and I think if it comes down to it, that they've dealt with evil gods and demons shit. Some of them have used guns.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Expelliarmus a fucking 42, dude, or 44, whatever. I don't know, shoot fucking guns. I don't know. Sir 42, probably not. 30-06, 40-06. I don't know what that is. Point is, they could probably use better technology, and I think that they're just grittier and meaner. You know, yeah, I think the spells from Hogwarts, like, they got some crazy curses and shit, and Snape is a force himself. But I could, man, imagine Snape and Margot going at it, mouth just fucking yelling at each other, just chirping. Woo! But I gotta go with Margot. I'm just, Margot would find a way to slit somebody's throat, dude. She lost an eye. She didn't give a shit. And those fairies are mean. I gotta go with break bills. Josh, why do you pick what you pick?
So I feel that Hogwarts focuses more on pushing out good, rounded out, law-abiding magic users. You know, magic law, natural law, all that stuff. Whereas Break Bills focuses more on, here's how you use magic.
Didn't they say in one of the episodes, we're not going to teach you to be good or bad, we're just going to teach you? It was kind of like that superhero movie where they were in the fucking, with Kurt Russell in it. Like, we're not going to teach you to be good or bad, we're just going to teach you the skills, and then you choose what you do with it, right?
We want you to, you know, stay on a good path. However, they also understand that you're going to do what you're going to do. But that also being said, we watched the Beast with the swipe of, I think, 2 fingers cut off Percy's hands. I mean, Alice...
You mean Dean Fogg look like a bitch, dude?
Oh, he did. But I mean, Alice, I think it was the end of season 1, maybe 2, where she was trying to cast that insanely complex spell to the point where she, like, went full Niflheim, like she basically exploded into pure energy. I've never seen someone at Hogwarts do that. So while they have the killing curse, I kind of feel like cutting someone's head off is a killing curse as well.
I think this is a cheating versus honorable system here. Like, who's going to kick who in the nuts and who's not. And I think, you know, the whole argument was, Batman will kick Captain America in the nuts, not vice versa. I disagree with that. But I'm saying that Margot will kick a dude in the nuts.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's going to one of those slap fights. And you have Joe Schmo slapping, and then you have Billy Bob over here with fucking brass knuckles, like a mace in his hand. Like, he's going to win.
I'll say one last thing on it. Even if it's not just fighting, the school I think actually is better is Break Bills, because they teach you how to use magic in actual society, where Hogwarts is like, here's magic, but it's all for this magical realm. If you go back home with your Muggle parents or your Muggle brother, like, you can't use it there. You can't, like, they don't, like, you have to be separated from normal society, where Break Bills lets you integrate. But that's what I say. So that one's over. Next up, John, what do you got?
All right, so I have Storm Shadow versus Sub-Zero.
I say Sub-Zero.
Who's Storm Shadow?
G.I. Joe.
Oh, okay, that's been a minute. Sub-Zero.
John?
Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Oh, we already know that ice powers beat blind ninjas. Okay. I mean, Storm Shadow's a badass, but, like, Sub-Zero's like, he's taking on Scorpion and Shao Kahn and shit. Like, the other dude's taking on, like, soldiers. Like, I mean, I like Storm Shadow, but, like, Sub-Zero's gonna fuck him up hard. Maybe Shao Kahn or somebody gets a hold of Sub-Zero and gives him some, fucking... Who do we say it is? I already forgot his name. Storm Shadow, and actually gives him, like, now if you would have said, like, Storm Shadow versus Noob Saibot, I still would have picked Noob Saibot, but I thought that would have been cooler because those shadow people with their names and shit. But I'm gonna go better console company. PlayStation versus Nintendo versus Xbox versus PC. Which one is the ultimate console? Like, think about from when they first started with the actual games till now, everything that they've done, all the games that have come out. Josh, who do you pick?
Oh man, this is actually a hard one. So I could defend any one of those, but when it comes down to it, I feel like, damn. I mean, against my better judgment, I've almost got to say PlayStation.
John?
PlayStation.
Fuck, I chose PlayStation too.
Okay, so here's my thing. I was going to say PC. You know,
I thought you would. I really did.
Master Race. And while I
Whoa, I didn't. Is that a thing?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Shit. Okay.
While I do love my PC, while I do love PC gaming and all that fun stuff, yeah, it can also be significantly more distracting. Like, there's so much more you can do, and there's so much more that can go wrong because there's so much more you can do.
And there's more modding that's available in PC,
Yeah.
in console, right?
And then Nintendo,
Or, I mean, PC. Shit, man.
yeah, significantly more.
Today.
Nintendo is 100% more family oriented.
Well, they really raised the bar. Like they started the bar. I just feel like PlayStation is.
Xbox is definitely becoming more of a PC in general. But when it comes down to just what would I want to sit down and just play, it's PlayStation.
Right on. Okay. Well, what's your next pick? Your next debate topic.
My next one.
And we gotta do this one in a southern accent.
All right.
We just spin a wheel every time, just a different accent comes on. We gotta do it. We'll do an episode like that one of these times.
My next one is a yes or no. It's a yes or no question. I'm sorry.
No, keep going with it. Keep going with it, John. Get your accent ready, buddy.
I'll tell you what.
Is being the chosen one, I did air quotes there in case you couldn't see it. Is being the chosen one an empowering thing, or is it just lazy writing?
You remind me of that dude from American Horror Story, like the little short witch dude. You know? John, which one you choose there, John?
All I can think is there's that movie Where the Heart Is or whatever, where the girl, I think it's Natalie Portman, has a baby in a Walmart, and she's like super southern. That's all I could think the whole time I was doing that.
So he thinks now, okay.
So is being in a book or a movie, whatever, is being the chosen one, is that like an empowering, like this is your main character, or is it just straight up lazy writing because they didn't know how else to do it?
Hardcore lazy writing.
Okay.
Wow, you must be from the north.
I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what, that's some lazy fucking writing right there, son. Yeah, I'll say it's a lazy writing because you gotta think outside the box sometimes for your main character. Now, he can be the chosen one in a way, but sometimes prophecy just like, Rand, he's a great chosen one for the Wheel of Time.
I say
it to you. Now listen to me, boy.
You remind me of Foghorn Leghorn.
That's what I was doing.
Okay.
That's what I was doing.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, we all agreed that it's lazy writing. I'm not. No,
I didn't say that.
You didn't? I thought you chose. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck.
You didn't get a chance yet.
I said the question. I didn't give my answer.
I apologize.
Can I give my answer?
I thought I heard you say it.
All right, I'm going to give my answer now.
Yeah.
It's lazy writing. So, please, give me your reasoning.
There is a case to be the chosen one. When you look at Lord of the Rings and like Frodo or Harry Potter, some of the older stuff like Heracles and like all that, the Greek myths and stuff, that was a good way to really set up those parables and things. But we're in 2025 now. Like, there's so many other ways to describe a character to get him from him or her or them, whatever you want to classify as, from the beginning to the end of the book, without them having some prophecy saying that they're going to save the world from darkness. It's also lazy writing as well to have the villain just want to conquer the world and cover it in darkness. Are they just going to sit on a fucking throne in the dark all the time? Like, is that what they're going to do? Like,
they're trying to pick up girls in the dungeon.
Like, oh my God. Natalie Portman, is that you?
No, so
I didn't mean to jump over.
No, you're good. You're good. No, my issue with it is, while I feel like the chosen one it's a great way to push a story arc like Harry Potter and stuff like that, but don't make it the super main focus of it. I like when it's a reluctant chosen one, even though that is even getting played out.
Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. I mean, look, George Lucas rewrote Star Wars once he read Joseph Campbell's book or heard about it, however he went about it. He's like, oh, that's more sense. No, that's why Star Wars is the hero's journey. Lord of the Rings is it's that monomyth. And that's fine and dandy and does work for some stories. I just think for creativity purposes, you need to think outside the box. John, why do you think it's lazy writing?
To me, it just goes to one single focus. It's just like, oh, we're focused on this main character, and we already know where it's going to lead.
Like, I think I know what you're saying. There's no stakes, right?
Exactly.
Like, he's probably
Okay,
gonna
but
fucking...
look at Harry Potter, because they've even said like the whole chosen one in that case could have been Harry, or it could have been Neville Longbottom.
Exactly.
They both had the same traumatic childhoods.
I think they should have wrote it differently to where they both flank around the whole different side of those stories. One goes left and then they end up at the end.
Like they end up complimenting each other in the end.
Well, you just never know it until the very last chapter who is the actual fucking chosen one.
Ooh,
Ron.
Damn, is that what I'm putting in my story right now?
I hope, because
Holy shit!
I want like five.
There's definitely a book out there that does it. There's gotta be.
I want a story where there's
Tell me in the
like
comments. There
five main characters, and you don't find out to the end of season 1 who the dragon is. I mean, the chosen one is.
Well, there's 3 Tavarine, so I mean, you don't know which one. I don't know.
John, I'm telling you, just total
Wheel of
side
Time,
tangent.
bro.
You gotta
Wheel of
watch.
Time.
If you don't read it, at least watch Wheel of Time. It is the perfect blend of fantasy, Game of Thrones, and Lord of the Rings. Like it is. That's where I'm at with that. John, what's your next pick?
So my next pick, I mean, this one's gonna kind of like be a reaching, but dragons. Game of Thrones versus Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, easy.
Ooh, man, I gotta give Lord of the Rings on that one.
John?
I'm gonna say Lord of the Rings also.
Is it because Anaglycon is the size of a fucking mountain? And Smaug and their dragons are as smart as humans?
Okay, so if you know anything about the Middle Earth lore,
I probably said that name way long.
you know that
too.
Smaug is like
Smaug.
he's like an iguana compared to the biggest dragons in those worlds.
Yeah.
Like he's tiny, and
He's like the last
he's
one.
still, according to what we've seen, bigger than the dragons in Game of Thrones.
Was it whichever one One Eye has in the House of the Dragon is the second largest one, and I think he is somewhat close to Smaug. Like they're somewhat similar. So there's one more bigger than him that when you see in the beginning of Game of Thrones, the big skull that's underneath, like that was like the biggest one, because they keep growing as they get older. But as they keep older, their bones start breaking down and they can't, whatever. But like there was dragons in Middle Earth that were like just massive, like absolutely massive.
And I know some people think dragons in Lord of the Rings, if they don't know anything about the Hobbit or the history, they think of the things that the Nazgul were riding. Those weren't really dragons. Those are the
fell beasts.
Those were perverse. Yeah, like they were perverse versions of the fell beast. Like they were not actual dragons. So that is a great question. I could go on that one for a while, because if you look at dragons in all the different like fantasy styles.
Oh, trust me, because of writing my story, I have. I've been doing a lot of research on things. Well, like I said, they're smart as humans. Smaug was pretty fucking smart.
And he had a British accent.
Yeah, he did. Fucking Benjamin.
He sounded a lot like Doctor Strange, just saying.
Sounded a lot like Khan. I'm sorry, it's not the best Star Trek reference there.
I dig it though. What do you got?
I'm just going down the list here and seeing what we have time for. Most iconic horror character. Not a fight who'd win. Most iconic horror character. Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger. When you think horror, who is the most iconic character? Who do you got?
Michael Myers.
Freddy.
Fuck, I'm saying Jason. This is our first time.
Ooh.
We all went different. Okay. Josh, why is it Michael Myers?
I've got to go Michael Myers because, as you know, you might not know this about me, but I'm not a horror fan. I know, crazy. But I used to have that as my ringtone. I've always loved the original 2 Michael Myers, the Halloween movies. Season of the Witch doesn't exist.
It does exist. It just doesn't exist in that timeline.
Okay. But the first, I think, 2 movies, there's something about them. Like, they weren't scary to me, but they were just, oh my word, I could watch it right now. Like, I loved the whole idea of Michael Myers and the fact that you didn't really know anything about him in those first few movies. You just knew that he couldn't really be killed and he didn't like his sister. I mean, that's really all you get to know. And that the short little bald guy at the asylum goes boom.
That was
that 2?
Loomis.
Yeah, was that number 2?
Well, I mean, there's one with the Paul Rudd where there's an explosion. That's part.
Paul Rudd's in that?
6. Part 6.
Oh no, I
like 4, 5, and 6. I mean, part 1's amazing, but I like 4.
I never saw past Season of the Witch. I got to that, and I'm just like, no, because I assumed they got away from him. I never realized until much later they got away from that and went back.
There's legitimately 4 or 5 different timelines, but I'm not going to get into them now.
Okay.
John, why is it Freddy Krueger? Why is it the guy likes kids?
Honestly, I mean, I feel he's got some of the more funnier
Tell me
kills.
I'm wrong.
He dreams about them.
He's got more of the more funnier ingenuity kills.
It's prime time, bitch.
Got your nose.
That was funny though. So, got your nose.
And Robert Englund,
Oh,
freaking
dude.
legend.
Yeah.
Like,
he is legend. He is legend. Well, I'm sorry. Anything else?
Nope,
No,
that's it.
that's it. You know, that's your main reason why. No, okay, all right.
of the few horror movies I did see as a kid, I will say those freaked me out.
Well, they were put together pretty well. They had more budget.
Those
than the
early ones just freaked me out. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, one all the way up to Dream Warriors is pretty fucking decent. It's
watching
a good
people
franchise.
get slashed up and killed in their sleep and nobody knows what's happening.
Yeah.
But that was where I first discovered that if you're having sex, you will die first.
Oh, I really thought it was from the movie that came before it. I mean, Freddy didn't come out till what, 87?
Yeah.
Jason was around in 83,
Well, is Jason the one
and
where
Michael's
he
in
folded the
79.
bed in
so
half or whatever?
yeah, he did the Craftmatic, dude. Fucking out. I think just when somebody goes, oh, what are you going to dress up as Halloween? You're like, oh, fucking Jason? You know, it's the hockey mask. It's the hockey mask. It's the machete. He's imposing, you know, don't do drugs, don't have sex,
He's been to
don't
space.
say I'll be right back. Like he's the guy that, I mean, yes, Michael Myers and Halloween set the fucking tone, okay? And Freddy had the one-liners, but Jason didn't need all that talk. And I think if there was no Jason, well, first off, there's no Michael, there's no Jason, there's no Freddy, but tell us in the comments who is the most iconic.
Now, I'm more than sure you know this.
I know Michael Myers has made more money
Well,
out of all of them, but
I know that you know this, but John, did you know that the Michael Myers mask was a William Shatner mask that they painted white?
Intern Inside Out.
Yep.
Yes.
I love that little
good Star Trek
fun
nod.
fact.
Oh yeah.
But that's great. That is great. I mean, I almost said hard eyes, but that wasn't an option. So, and Jason has been to space.
Well, he has.
You know what else is in space?
Leprechaun.
Mm, You just
I was gonna say.
you just ruined that transition. But I was going to say my next topic.
And Pinhead.
So my next one is a classic: Star Wars versus Star Trek. And in this, I'm
Yeah, you have to
looking at-
explain what you mean, though.
So from this, I'm looking at like the tech and the overall story of it. Like,
Okay, so they're not
Let's
battling. It's just like
no, they're not fighting each other. It's just like in an overall, like which one has the better technology, which one is just a better. I mean, I put overall enjoyment, and by that I meant like which one would you rather live in? I guess like which one feels like a better universe to be a part of, Star Wars or Star Trek?
John.
Oh shit, he's stuck in thought again.
If I had to actually pick which one I'd rather live in, Star Trek.
Okay, well, that you just say live in, but overall enjoyability.
Yeah.
You're on the island again. You have all the Star Trek movies and TV shows, which is
Yes.
like we said before, a fucking long time.
Which one would you do?
Or all the
Trek,
Star Wars and Star Trek.
Star Wars, or Alien? Go.
Star Wars.
Why
Star
is
Wars?
Alien not getting any of these? So wait, Star Wars?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's just overall, you like Star Wars better than Star Trek.
Like,
yeah.
looking
I
at
enjoy
it-
the story more.
Okay.
Story, the technology available, all of that stuff is just overall. You'd rather have Star Wars. Okay.
Trek, obviously.
Trek.
I'm picking Trek. What are you picking?
So this was a really hard one for me because I'm not a huge fan of either, but I had to go Trek
Okay.
because while a lightsaber would be freaking cool,
You make one on the holodeck. It's fine.
there that was the winner. It was the holodeck. Like you can do anything in there. And I have watched the original series of Star Trek, and it was just freaking cool. Like, don't get me wrong, I do love
Even Zach is almost done with the original. He said he had 3 episodes to go the other day. And
Damn.
like he was
the
done.
original series.
Yeah.
Man, I should rewatch. I did watch almost all of them.
I watch it at night on Pluto TV, and it's either a Harry Mudd episode or where Pike has to go back to Talos 4. Like over, I'm like, dude, this episode cannot be on again.
I stopped on the episode where Kirk is on the desert planet fighting the lizard-looking dude.
Right on. That's good stuff, man.
Do you actually know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. That episode Big Bang Theory when they stop to take pictures in the rocks and then
The
their car
Gorn.
gets stolen. Yeah, that one. I hate that I know that reference, but that one.
In Strange New Worlds right now, the Gorn are a big thing.
The lizard dudes.
Yeah, they kind of
Okay.
reimagined them a little bit. They're wicked.
So I
They're
had
fucking
little. They look like Funko Pops, but they're shaped like cupcakes. The one is Captain Cupkirk. The next one is was it Cornbread Muffin? And then there's a Spock. What one was that? Oh, Spock tarts.
Well,
I'll bring them over. We'll put them on the shelf.
All right, that'd be cool.
We'll put them up next to Chucky.
Right on. I choose Trek because, first off, I grew up with Star Trek. I won't go down the journey again, but I think the quality, I mean, how much hatred does Star Wars fans have right now? Like, they're fucking pissed, okay? And I don't agree with a lot of the hatred, but there's a lot of sourness right now. There's a lot of the same with the MCU. They're saying that the quality is dipped, even though they're saying Andor's like the greatest fucking show that's ever been made or something. I found it boring and fell asleep. But I think Star Trek, even though there has been some hate towards like Discovery and maybe Enterprise still got 5 seasons. Discovery still got 5 seasons, where it's like they're pissed about like a Mandalorian type thing, or pissed like they can't even get more than 2 seasons of like the Acolyte. They're just like, nope, get rid of it. We fucking hate it. Like, I feel like Star Trek fans, like, we give it a little bit more chance. We understand where they come from. Maybe we don't agree with when they bring a character back in or something, but we're not just like, oh my God, this completely sucks now. Star Trek's over. Fuck it. We're done. Well, like Star Wars is just like, you change one thing. It's like, oh my God. You know, it's like, why? I'm picking Trek.
Well, and it's kind of like I've said 100 times about, oversaturation. We've looked at this. There's so much more Star Trek content out there than Star Wars when you break it down, but you never hear people being burnt out on it. Whereas, no offense to Star Wars, I mean, I've heard amazing things about the different animated series, but people just absolutely hated 2 of 3 of the prequels, 3 of 3 of the sequels, like.
John, so tell me, we just bitched about, defend Star Wars culture. Defend to me why it is overall a better franchise than Star Trek.
Like, I am genuinely curious.
Because we just went on a bash fest for a second, so we're going to let you have the floor here, let you have your time to shine. It's only fair. So
basically how Star Wars is, like, came into, like, George Lucas, he based the whole franchise off an old samurai movie. I love samurai movies. I like the idea of the Jedi. I like the idea of the Sith, but there's also that combat aspect of their troops. I mean, I like seeing like the battles like that.
So you like that it feels more like a war show.
Exactly. To me, that's more of a realistic future versus seeing Star Trek. 'Cause you see all these planets coming together.
Government oppression. Interesting.
But you think about this, if you look at Star Trek, the Starfleet, you have all these planets that are gathered together and like they have one goal. We can't even get a couple of countries to do that now.
It took a long time for the Klingons and Cardassians and everybody to get them.
Kardashians?
You're talking about...
But there is memes merging them. Sorry, John.
But you're talking about worlds. We're having issues with countries. So this makes it's more realistic to me for Star Wars. That's why I think I
will have you know, in the book I wrote, we have a one world government. But that's because over... like half the population got wiped out. But that's besides the point. If you want to know more about that, reach out and I will talk to you. No, good defense though. I like it. So you feel like it'd be more of a realistic lifestyle rather than almost a utopia.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where cyborgs are trying to kill you.
Yep.
Can I tell you that the one scene of the 3 sequels, was it 7, 8, and 9? The one scene I truly liked was in, I think it was 8, when they got everybody off the ship, and then what's her name put it into warp speed and just blew right through the middle of the Imperial cruiser.
Was that before or after the slow high-speed chase?
Yes.
Space?
No, that's Battlestar Galactica.
Oh no, that was fucking Star Wars too, buddy. There's a whole entire half of a movie where they're like, we can't catch up to them. We're just gonna keep trailing behind them. Whatever. Let's move on. John? Give me your next pick, man. We can't spend too much time on these. We gotta keep moving. I gotta moderate this.
Okay, so this is more of
Tell us in the comments who's right.
So this is more of a what we would prefer. What makes for a better story, a futuristic timeline or a medieval setting?
Ooh.
I'll give you my short answer real quick. Futuristic.
So I've said it before, it definitely depends on the circumstances, but if I had to pick one, I'd have to go probably more medieval.
John?
I would.
Medieval.
All right. I'm the only guy that went the other way.
Yeah.
So, but it was that way. So why, John and Josh, you guys tell me why medieval is better than sci-fi?
Sure. All right. So I would have to go more medieval, but I think that's rooted more in my personal love of things like Lord of the Rings and that high fantasy style. While I'm not a fan of dysentery, I am a fan of like the hardworking, like, things moved at a slower pace in a sense of like, I got to go to the next town over to grab, groceries. I'll be back in a week. Like, something about that was always more appealing. Like things were simpler and And I think future, for some reason, I always think dystopian, like cyberpunk, where stuff's just falling apart. But it's just me, John.
So same thing. I like the simplicity of it. With a medieval like time frame, like you figure you can add magic, you can add runes, things like that to your story to make it a little bit more interesting. Futuristic, I picture the same thing you did. I picture dystopian. I picture overcrowding. It's just
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Do you know there's theories that Wheel of Time takes place way, way in our future?
Yes, also in Star Wars' past.
It's in the past. What, really?
I don't know. I just made that up.
They say Lord of the Rings is in our future.
Yeah, which is in Wheel of Time's past. I'm just making this.
My head just exploded.
So listen, I love swords and I love sorcery. I love fantasy. But this was about medieval, and yeah, you said you can add magic and stuff to it. However, I think I would lean more towards sci-fi stories and sci-fi movies and TV because you can still have magic type shit, Jedi. You can still have sword type shit, Jedi. You can still have gritty, I gotta go to the next town over. I don't know, fucking Tatooine. You can still have everything from medieval in sci-fi, but with sci-fi, futuristic stuff, you have the holodeck, you have beaming, you have more, like with medieval type stories, other than like magic and making water into wine or something, or doing transmutation of metals, like you can't really do anything so far. Like there's only so much uniqueness you can go, so much you can explore. It's always the same stuff, just told a little bit differently. With sci-fi, you can come up with any crazy technological device. I mean, look at Star Trek with Q. Look at Red Matter, or the fucking Star Wars Jedi, or Battlestar Galactica having to go across. Like, you can come up with a vast more plethora of different ideas, and I think this just has a wider range. Now,
you're not as limited to.
I think you can only do, like, how many times can somebody ride on a horse into a castle and conquer a castle with magic, or there's muddy, or somebody's saying shite, or fucking, fuck yourself, or I'm going to eat all them chickens. How many times you can still have the same type of Seven Samurai type fucking story, no matter where you're at when it comes to a medieval story? I think you're very limited, unless you go to another realm, which in case... Like in Beastmaster, you came to the modern world that had technology that would have been way in the future.
Yeah, and lava under the zoo.
Yeah. I'm not down, dude. I'm reading Wheel of Time. I love the Wheel of Time. Fucking Narnia. I love that shit. But I think futuristic just has more of a wider scope of storytelling. So
I give it to you.
Okay.
You changed my mind on that one. I think I would have to lean more futuristic, because you're right. You could live in more of a medieval style if you wanted, but you would have all the creature comforts of modern day.
Yeah.
Crap, you changed my mind.
Yeah,
John,
speaking of crap, they have literal bathrooms in the future.
Yeah, that is true. You don't have to
Not
poop.
just a fucking hole in a shed somewhere.
Crap in a hole, yeah. What about you, John? He changed your mind?
no, I still like that.
Okay.
Well, is it my pick next?
It is.
All right. All out war. Right here. All out fucking war. You got Westeros with men, giants, dragons, Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserion. White Walkers, Melisandre, 1,000 warships, etc. 400,000 troops, roughly. Versus Middle Earth with their men, their elves, their dwarves, their Oliphants, Gandalf, orcs, ringwraiths, Nazgul, Fellbeasts, 500 Corsair ships of the Umbar, and 300,000 troops. All out fucking war. Who wins?
Do you actually need to ask me?
I'm
a loyalist. I will stand by Middle Earth till the day I die. I just feel that I'm going to let John answer before I explain. Go ahead.
So you said Middle Earth. You say
Middle Earth.
I say Middle Earth. Magic wins,
Nice.
baby. Magic wins.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I mean, they may have more dragons. Smog, because I didn't include Smog, but like...
And if you're doing like Middle Earth versus Westeros...
Fucking Legolas would take out fucking House...
Well, and I've got to assume that Sauron is going to team up with Elrond, and they're going to do some crazy...
Well, that's why I said the ring racing everybody.
Yeah.
It's like White Walkers versus fucking Urukai, but then
we got White Walkers, and Saruman's like, start shitting out more of them Urukai. Come on, people.
We have fucking ents, bitch. Fucking trees walk. Crush your little children of the forest. Wow. Okay, I thought that would be more of a discussion.
Nope.
Apparently not.
I like it.
All right. I told you some of these are going to breeze through. What do you got, Josh?
Yeah, but
before you say it, how much time we got left?
We are at 1 hour and 8 minutes. However, we did like a probably solid 10-minute check at the beginning, so I think we're fine right now. You know what? Let's just follow that exact same mentality, but not full out, war. Simply, who, in your opinion, did a fantasy adventure better? Now, John, you will be at a slight disadvantage because you suck, but Wheel of Time.
Wow.
No,
Damn.
Wheel of Time, The Lord of the Rings, or Game of Thrones. Desert Island, you got one to watch for, 40 years. What are you watching?
Lord of the Rings all the way.
That's the better adventure. Who is it? Was it Lord of the Rings?
Wheel of Time or Game of Thrones?
Well, Game of Thrones isn't an adventure.
Well, Game of Thrones with the George R.R. Martin ending that should have been, not the crap we got.
Well, I'm excluding it because for me, instantly it's off because it's not adventure. So at least Lord of the Rings or, that was
Wheel
the
of
OG.
Time.
Man, Wheel of Time. I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna give my reasoning, but
Man, he's
I'm
having
gonna
a hard time.
I'm gonna say Lord of the Rings. I have to,
Oh.
and I wrote down why, but
I was going to say Wheel of Time. No, I'm just kidding. I was going to definitely say Lord of the Rings. But I'm not going to shit you here. That was a hard one because as much as I absolutely love Lord of the Rings and I know so much about it, there's so much I don't know about Wheel of Time yet.
and that's where I was going. I was like, right now I'm gonna say Lord of the Rings, but I wrote on my thing there. I'm leaning heavily towards Wheel of Time because I have so many more books to go. And hopefully a lot more TV to go. And their shit isn't just like, oh, here's a group and here's a group. Like their shit's expansive. Like their adventure, there's different people adventuring all over their continent. Where it's not just like two groups.
Yeah, and it's not just like, oh, the Fellowship split. We got to follow more than one storyline. Like this is literally like there's 5 main characters.
Each story you come back, everybody's doing a different adventure.
Well, like,
in a way.
John, in the show, Wheel of Time, there's 5 main characters. Well, actually, there's like 7, 28.
It's the Emmonsfield 5.
But there's a point where literally you're following 5 different adventures. While 2 of them are technically together most of the time, they have their own things going on. Like,
yeah, their own shit.
I'm telling you, man.
Wheel of Time.
Telling you, I didn't think I would like it as much as I do, and now I'm a full-blown fanboy. I have a tattoo on my ass.
Oh, well,
It's
the wheel weaves is the wheel.
It's to the left of the sorting hat, but to the right.
That said Gryffindor, but he crossed it out and put Ravenclaw.
If you want to know the answer to that reference, go check out our Patreon episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's mine. Best fantasy adventure. I've got to go Lord of the Rings because, it is still so ridiculously in depth.
John, why do you pick Lord of the Rings?
Again, like in depth. The entire adventure is more enjoyable. I feel like I can watch it over and over again.
You and your wife have watched it over and over, right? Yeah.
I do genuinely feel, though, that if you gave Wheel of Time a chance, you would be torn like I am.
You'll fall in love with Lan, dude. You will love Lan.
Yeah, you will. And you see him shirtless.
More than once. Yeah, and he doesn't like it's too salty. He doesn't want all that salt.
He does.
Dude, when she looked at him in that episode, oh my god.
When they were doing that whole like that all I could think was Anakin with like, I hate sand.
Skits everywhere, I don't like it.
But yeah, that's mine, John. What's up?
What do you got? What do you got next, buddy?
All right.
Next debate.
So next debate for stories. Do you prefer a story with an ending or something that can have a continuation?
Continuation.
Ooh, cliffhanger or definite ending?
I answered all these before I got here. I typed them all out and answered, so I already know. Like
I answered them in my head.
Yeah.
But I would absolutely. Ooh. Are we talking book, movie, or just story in general?
We'll just say
like
story.
If we rock a full-blown trilogy, are we talking like definite ending or leave it open-ended for a quadrilogy?
Something like that, yeah.
Balls.
Something that has a really good story to it. And
so should Star Wars have had an ending? or should it keep going?
As much as I want to say a definite ending, I've got to go open-ended. I want a cliffhanger.
I like the same thing. I like to have a good story ending, but sometimes it's just like the story's too good and you hate to see like something wrap up and you want to see it almost open-ended.
Well,
you feel that you're kind of
No, go ahead.
Do you think you're kind of a lore hound like I am, where I want to, as soon as I've watched something, and I'm like, oh man, it only had like 3 seasons, but I want to know, like when Magicians was done, even though I didn't read the books, I started looking into Quentin, I started looking into Margot, what her real name was, where she went, like I wanted to know everything about these characters, and I wanted more stories. I want there a Margot and Elliot spinoff. Where's that?
Yeah, right.
Something that's really good like that. Now, I'm like a horror movie, okay, yeah, some of them can have one and done, that's fine. But if it's a nice grand story,
like Hard Eyes?
Like Hard Eyes should get a sequel. Like it fucking should. Like there should be another, I
had a theory for the end of that, but I'll tell you that later.
Okay. So yeah, I because I usually want more. If it's a shitty story, end it. But overall, I want more of a continuation of something.
See, for me, it falls more into end the main story, but leave it open-ended with something that you can theorize about, but not something that's going to drive you insane because you didn't answer a question. Greatest example I can think of off the top of my head is the end credits scene after Spider-Man No Way Home. You see the tiny little Venom symbiote limping away across the table. That left a nice open ending that you could go somewhere with it, or you could just leave it at that and be happy with it of, oh, let's theorize what could that mean. I'm okay with that.
Gotcha.
But I've seen enough shows that got canceled, leaving it wide open.
Almost Human.
Oh, that was such a good show.
Yeah.
I did watch that one, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, if they canceled Wheel of Time right now.
We're getting more Judge Dredd, though. I forgot to say that. From the Boys creator and what's his face? Urban. Like, they're doing the TV show. Like, they're in heavy talks right now. Yeah, more Judge Dredd.
Finally.
Yeah, baby. I just read it today and I forgot about it.
But yeah, like, if they canceled Wheel of Time right now, I'd be
so
livid.
Pissed. But at least that book series is done. Martin.
True.
We know how it fucking ends, Martin.
Yeah.
In case you don't know, John.
Everybody moves to
Martin still, and he actually said like a couple months like, well, I'm probably just never going to finish this book. Like, thanks a lot, buddy. Then hire somebody.
Sanderson.
Hire Sanderson to finish this shit. I'm sure you could do it in an afternoon.
Stop writing the book and write your full outline so somebody else can do it.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, so I guess that's my turn.
That is.
Who has the best characters, TV shows, movies, games, and legacy? Marvel or DC?
Oh, man.
Like, which one has impacted the world more?
I'm weighing everything in my head right now. Impacted the world more.
And continue, like, from the beginning till now, like, which one is more important to geek culture, which is more iconic, which has had more of an impact, Marvel or DC?
I almost hate myself. DC.
Okay. No, it's a valid answer.
And I have reasons.
John?
Marvel.
Okay. I'm also going to go Marvel. You tell us why it's DC.
I feel that DC kind of it paved the way for what the MCU is now, in the sense of like not Green Lantern.
I'm not just talking about the movies though. I'm talking about everything. Like,
I know
the whole entire.
I understand that.
So
but what I'm looking at is like cultural impact. Most people didn't know who Iron Man really was before the movie. Now you say that and people think you're nuts. But when you go back, because I mean I've been collecting since I was like 10 years old. I knew most of these characters before they came out with the movies, and I didn't know much at all about Iron Man. I didn't know a whole lot about Captain America other than he carried a shield and he kicked butt, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think the big ones back then were really Wolverine and the Hulk. Like, those were the ones that most people knew. But if you had a t-shirt that had a big S on it, people knew it was Superman. They saw the Bat. They knew it was Batman. They knew Wonder Woman. They knew Aquaman. Those are the ones.
I might disagree with you on the Aquaman, but go ahead.
Most people would. But those are the ones that they rose to popularity the quickest back in like the 20s, 30s, 40s, and they maintained a lot of their popularity. And especially like Christopher Reeves, he pushed, especially Superman, to just astronomical heights as far as like, this is what we can do with a comic book. And then you turn around and DC also had, I mean, now, don't get me wrong, I'm definitely a bigger Marvel fan, but I have to give credit where it's due. DC's animated movies that they've been doing since the 90s, some of those are just insane. Like, they're dark, but they have better stories than a lot of live action movies that I've seen today. Okay. All of that to say, I just feel that if we didn't have like Jack Kirby and them pushing for, you know, the superheroes that we have now, I don't think Stan Lee would have been quite as accepted in that type of profession as he was.
Interesting. John, why does Marvel win this?
Did I change your mind?
No, you didn't, but
okay.
I do agree with that reasoning though. But for me, if it's me and just my reasoning behind it,
which it is,
I find the characters, I like the character designs, I like the storylines better. I mean, I like Batman, but if I had to choose to read him or a Captain America comic, I'm going with Captain America.
And I agree. But looking at the cultural impact, if you look at pre-MCU, I feel DC had the upper hand. More people knew what that was compared to Marvel.
Yeah.
My turn now?
Yes.
Okay. Every point that you've given is mostly valid. Mostly.
Except Aquaman. Yeah, I know.
Probably.
Got it.
Pre-MCU, Marvel or DC did some Michael Keaton Batman movies, some Christopher Reeve stuff, and I don't know, they did Catwoman and fucking Steel. Okay, they did Smallville. So I feel like everything, now DC, I said this a lot in this episode about some things, but DC set the bar. They did. They were around just a little bit before Timely and Marvel. They set the bar. But if every single thing that DC does, Marvel has done better. Every TV show, they're like, oh, you want to do TV? Yeah, okay, we'll put the Hulk on TV. That lasted a while, did pretty well. What did DC have? They had West and Batman. You know, that whole,
Adam West.
And I watched it as a kid. I did. Then you look at the actual movies. Yeah, they did some cool stuff. Christopher Reeve, You Believed a Man Could Fly. They did the Batman stuff. But then it just kind of got repetitive. We keep getting like the same Batman story, the same Superman story. MCU, yes, they've dipped, but I mean, it's really brought Marvel to the forefront. And you have forgotten about Spider-Man.
I didn't forget him.
You didn't mention Spider-Man. Spider-Man is one of the biggest comic book characters ever. Yes, Batman and Superman are always going to be one of the top two comic book characters of all time. You're not going to change that. They were like the OGs. Okay.
Batman has topped the charts of most books sold every year for like 50 years now.
Yeah, they're always up there. Yeah, but if you look at the entire chart, though, you'll have the Batman books, and then the rest are all fucking Marvel. Okay, you get a couple Action Comics or something in there, or maybe a fucking... or some random ones, yeah, but most of them, I'm going to say 60-70% of the top 100 are always fucking Marvel. Almost like every fucking month. It's like, it's crazy. And I'm not saying DC's not great and they didn't start everything, but man, Marvel, yeah, I mean, sure, everybody knows who Batman and Superman is, but I think now more people know who more Marvel characters are. Like, they just do.
Do you think that's going to change with James Gunn taking the helm?
I think it's going to help DC. I don't think they're going to ever overtake Marvel. They might equal up, and they might go tit for tat for a very long time, but I don't think they're ever going to overtake Marvel. I don't.
The biggest issue there was that DC always had darker storylines, and that just didn't translate to the audience as well.
I don't think they did.
Well, to an extent. Marvel had some pretty messed up storylines too, but they didn't put that front facing right from the get-go, like Tony Stark's drinking problem.
Well, look, you're kind of feeding what I'm saying here. DC always had kind of a black and white, kind of like, here's the good guy, here's the bad guy. The same as Lord of the Rings, right? And then you get like Marvel, or you get Game of Thrones. There's like, well, maybe this guy is the good guy, but maybe he's got a fucking drinking problem. Maybe he's been fucking hitting. I mean, you had characters like Reed Richards smacking his wife around.
True.
I thought that was Hank Pym.
Well, he did it too.
Yeah, he did it too.
he drank and smacked.
The Avengers had some issues.
Reed Richards just did the smacking and Tony did the drinking.
Even if you look at some of the way Thor talked to women, like I'm glad that they did that in the movie, because in the comics he was pretty rude to some women too. Like I feel like Marvel just took everything that DC had and just ran with it, and that's why today they're the force that they are. I mean, DC's still chugging along, and they'll always be there. I think Marvel's just overtaking them. But
okay.
I think we gave that a lot. Tell us in the comments. I really want to know what people's thoughts on this one are.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I'm still a much bigger Marvel fan. Like 90% of my collection is Marvel. But I just feel that we wouldn't be where we are if we didn't have some of the original DC properties to start it.
And I agree. I just don't think the original is always better. Just because it started.
No, I didn't say it was better. I just said it had more of a cultural impact.
Okay. What do you got next?
Like, you'd never see the Flash get shot by a machine gun in Sokovia. But anyways...
well, the Flash has got a lot different power set than Quicksilver.
They've run.
Yeah, but one taps into the Speed Force and one's a mutant.
Well, yeah, true.
No, good. Or were you going to say what I was going to say?
All right, so my next one, it kind of actually just covered what we were just saying. My next one was MCU's Iron Man versus Christopher Nolan's Batman. I feel like we kind of just covered that.
You said something about billionaire in your question, though, didn't you?
Yeah, who is the better billionaire vigilante?
John, who's the better billionaire vigilante?
Batman.
Yeah?
Really?
If someone hears Batman, they're like, oh,
no, we can't give reasons. Batman.
I'm Batman.
I say Batman.
I did record my 3-year-old once saying, I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
I have to give it to Tony. I have to give Iron Man that one.
John, why is it Batman?
everyone hears Tony Stark and they're like, oh shit, here comes Iron Man. You hear Batman, you're like, oh, I'm going to the hospital.
Okay, difference is people know Tony Stark is Iron Man.
So is he that good of a vigilante?
So we're
Also, if I could just interject here just real quick.
Who did you say?
I will step on you here. I'll say Batman because Batman never had Wayne Corp just taken away and sold for fucking parts. He's a fucking genius strategist. There's a reason Wayne Corp is like global. Whereas Stark Industries has been bought and sold, and their shit's tanked, and
like Hang Industries,
like it's Tony Stark's lost his company. I don't know how many fucking times. Like Wayne Corp is still going strong.
I said the better billionaire vigilante. So I feel Tony Stark.
Bruce Wayne is the better billionaire because he never lost his money.
But Tony Stark is acting like a billionaire. All right, I'll give it to you. Okay.
All right.
So that was an easy one.
All right.
We should get one of those buttons. That was easy. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
What was that? Staples?
Yeah.
All right. So I've got one more. It's a little bit R-rated.
Oh, whoa, hey, whoa. We got a lot of swearing sailors listening to this.
Anal or oral?
Oral.
Moving on. But in a story, when is nudity too much and when is it like
no, you gotta say the question how you have it.
So I have nudity versus sexualized imagery. When is too much and when does it ruin a story?
Okay, well, I'm old school, so I'm gonna say show me boobs. I say nudity instead of implied nudity.
See, I would actually have to say the implied.
John, what do you say?
Implied.
Okay, well, I guess I'm the outlier here. So I am an adult, and I don't need... Now, I'm not saying there needs to be gratuitous, but I live in a realistic world. And to be clear, so I can just put this statement out there front, minor kids shouldn't be watching any type of nudity or really any implied nudity. So I'm not advocating for our TVs to just have titties and dicks flying around everywhere. Okay, I'm not saying that. But for adult content, adult movies that only adults should be watching, I just would rather see it just natural. I'm not saying I need a 20-minute porno scene, but like I don't need to be hidden away. I think human bodies are human bodies, and it doesn't have to be a sex scene. If it's just like a nudist colony or fucking whatever, just somebody getting changed, just fucking, you know, like whatever. I'm not saying it should be everywhere, but why shy away from it? This is a realistic world because it's reality. So let's just show it as it is. Don't show it just to be gratuitous. Don't show it just for a shock value. I'm just saying, like, it shouldn't be, oh my God, was that a nipple? Like, whatever, dude. Like, we all have body parts. Get over it.
No, okay, so I do agree with that. But at the same time, I feel that you can accomplish the same thing without going overboard. And okay, so what I mean by that is, in my head, reading that question, because full transparency, yeah, we read each other's questions before we decided to turn the mics on. You know, so we're not sitting here for half an hour thinking, oh, let me think. I immediately thought of Game of Thrones versus Wheel of Time. And the reason... I mean, what can I say? It's in my head right now, so I keep going back to Wheel of Time. But like we were saying...
Well, it's a good contrast. It's a very good...
Of the 3 seasons, 8 episodes per season, you see maybe 5-second shots
I've seen
of nudity.
like 2 asses and like 3 boobs or something, and that's it.
Right.
So you get 1 per season.
Game of Thrones, you were guaranteed that you saw nudity every episode for like the first 3 seasons.
And it was a little bit gratuitous.
It got to a point where it was taking away from the story. And I do remember, like, I thought the same watching Dexter. After a while, you were guaranteed that in the first season, I think, you saw nudity almost every single episode. Definitely.
It must be a different type of story because I barely remember the nudity in Dexter, and I've seen it twice. I know, I'm not saying there's not nudity, but...
Well, it's because in certain contexts, I feel it does take away from the story.
I mean, he was just killing them on the table. They're usually naked.
Well, not that. But John, where are you at with this?
Yeah, well, why do you think implied is better?
You're killing friendships here, man. What you better...
So building off what you just said, when does it become fan service and when does it actually take away from the story? I like to be able to see a storyline where you have like a main character and maybe he's interested in a female lead and, you know, they're out in the woods, she's bathing in a pond, and he's like, oh crap, you don't see anything, but you get that sense that, oh crap, he does like her, like start to see it, and you kind of get that feeling, it's almost like a tease moment.
Okay, first.
Yeah, maybe I don't like to be teased. Maybe that's my fucking issue. I don't want gratuitous.
Okay.
I hate to be teased, man.
First Beastmaster. He sees her topless in the water, and then the very next scene, she's not. Was that not enough? Was that too much? Like,
I think he stole her clothes. He was showing that he was a roguish type guy.
Right.
It was part of.
See,
the
to
scene.
me, that was. It fell in line with the story. It progressed the story. There was a reason behind it. But now, like, you get other scenes where.
I think I know what you're saying here. You don't need to be like Game of Thrones or Spartacus, where there's a whorehouse every other scene.
Yeah.
I agree with that. It doesn't need to be, I keep saying gratuitous. It doesn't need to be overwhelming. Like it's just like a meme at this point. I understand that. But I don't know, if I would have watched Roadhouse, and I've seen Patrick Swayze and Kelly, I can't think of her last name right now, where she patches him up and he takes her up to his barn apartment and they're talking. Next thing you know, they're ba-bang, ba-bang, ba-bang. I don't know if they just would have like shown them in the sheets like on some soap opera. I would have been like, oh, like it just, there's a sexual charge in it that sees like, I don't know. I thought it would have been a less of a movie without it.
There's a time and a place for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John.
And you're right. There is a time and a place for it, and that was perfect. But again, like leading into Game of Thrones, you don't need to see it like, oh, here's a dick. Here's everything, like every episode. But
yeah, they could just show somebody walking into the whorehouse. You don't have to show the entire whorehouse every single time. Yeah.
But
the entire episode is the escapades of the whorehouse.
Exactly. But Roadhouse, there's perfect points where that makes sense, and it leads to a great story because, face it, Patrick Swayze, fucking amazing.
He was all right.
I love that movie. So.
I'm just kidding. He was a cool guy. I think we both. I know it seemed like we all disagreed at first there, but I think we all kind of agree in a way. But okay, well I guess moving on here. This will be a quick one. Hand-to-hand battle. The Power Rangers from Angel Grove. I think that's where they're from.
Okay.
Versus the mean sewer system of New York City. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Hand-to-hand combat. Who wins?
His turtles are laying a smackdown.
Turtles.
Okay, yep.
Okay. And Casey Jones is just laughing his ass off. He's like, yo, Kimberly, come here a minute. And then somebody's like, she's in high school. And he's like,
forget about it.
Yeah, forget about it. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I mean, she seemed like an adult. My bad. Yeah, that was over. Josh, what do you got?
Oh, okay.
got any quickies?
We'll go ahead and jump into which one has ruined more friendships? Overall, not just in your life, just in general. Mario Kart or Super Smash Brothers?
Mario Kart. You get to Mario Kart.
I can't stand Smash Brothers, so I picked Mario Kart.
See, I have to say Smash Brothers.
Okay, well,
I've seen many controllers getting thrown.
You get to that finish line and somebody hits you with that fucking blue turtle shell, and then the guy behind you, not once, not twice, but 3 times with red shells and just turns around and gets you again.
Emily has given me the cold shoulder over Mario Kart. She has been angry. So maybe not friendships, but it's like been like, I don't know if I'm getting any love today because of fucking Mario.
You're not going to be giving a blue shell anytime soon.
Yeah.
Got it.
I don't know I played Smash Brothers twice and I was like, no, thank you.
All right. Well, that was easy.
Well, you said Smash Brothers.
I did.
No defense on it?
I have tried to kill my brother over it before because there's a point where you keep getting knocked off the platform, coming back, and they keep knocking you back off. You can't get back to it. It
sounds like Mortal Kombat when your cousin just plays Sonya Blade and just keeps doing that same leg move over and over and over and over.
All right, moving on.
All right, moving.
John, you're out.
You're out.
Okay.
I'm not sure why you're still here.
So we'll bounce through the last couple here real quick. Michael, go ahead.
We'll do an actual fight here. Omni-Man versus Superman. Now, AI did the calculations for me. Now, no one moved or took care of an asteroid that was supposedly the size of Texas. That's more than All-Star Superman's 200 quintillion tons. But saying Texas size just means it's big. So we'll just say they both can roughly live 200 quintillion tons. Who wins in a fight? Omni-Man or Superman?
Superman.
I'm going to say Omni-Man.
I'm going Nolan. I'm going Omni-Man.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
John, why?
He's a dirty fighter.
Okay.
I mean, he's gonna. Watching the very first episode of like that, I was just like,
did you watch Invincible, Josh?
A few of the episodes of the first season.
Dude, he had no qualms crushing someone's skull. He's not gonna fuck around with Superman. He knows he's a threat. He's gonna kill him quick.
He will let an entire, probably state burn to beat Superman. Or Superman will try to protect people, maybe take it to space, do something. Omni-Man, like, he doesn't care who fucking dies in the collateral damage. Like, he does not fucking care. And his heritage says he will not stop until he is actually fucking dead. And will Superman kill him? I don't know. Tell me why Superman wins.
He's literally the Energizer Bunny. He has an unlimited battery with the sun.
What happens when it gets dark or he gets
good.
struck into space? No, because it's happened before. Fucking look at Superman the Peace movie where fucking what's his face took him away from the sun.
The only times that ever actually mattered were when he went to a whole different solar system. As long as he's with, he can see our sun, he's still getting the radiations of the yellow sun. He's still fine.
It's usually going to ignore all the stories where he has been away from the sun and gotten weaker.
Are they going away from the sun?
I mean, they potentially could.
What is Omni-Man's power source? Where does it come from?
he doesn't like get anywhere. It's just him. It's his physiology. He doesn't draw it from anywhere. It's just literally him. His blood, his bones,
I don't know.
His physiology.
I don't know. I gotta stick with Superman on that one. I don't know.
Okay. I've seen Omni-Man take out plenty of dudes that were just like Superman. And he's like either cut them in half or rip their fucking heart out. I don't know.
But would he be able to even penetrate Superman's skin?
Oh yeah. He did the Immortal was pretty much like just like whatever Superman is now in the comics, and he fucking chopped his fucking head off with his hand, just went, and then he fucking punched his hole right through him. He has Viltrumite physiology, and those Viltrumites, like the one Adam and Eve, like she has like Green Lantern like powers, and this dude like fucking broke right through him and like fucking destroyed her physically. I don't know. The Viltrumites are they're wicked people, and they don't need a battery to recharge them. They just keep going and going and going.
Interesting. All right.
Okay. What do you got, Josh? What's next? Do you have anything to add on that, John?
Nope.
No? Okay. I don't want to be taking up all your talking time here, buddy. Man,
nope.
Feel free to jump in.
Good.
All right, John. Frodo versus Sam.
Sam.
Who is the real hero of that story?
Sam.
I think if the roles were reversed, but what's your answer, first off?
It's Sam. Yeah.
If the roles were reversed, do you think Frodo would have done everything Sam did to get him to the mountain?
No. Sam literally carried him.
Yeah, Frodo would have been like, well, I have other things to do.
Sam. That was horrible. Never mind.
I don't think so, Sam. I want to hear more adventures about you. Yeah, right there he didn't want to hear. He's like, no, I want to hear about you doing it. Here, take this fucking ring for me. Will you? Come on, man. Please. I don't want to be here. I'm not even supposed to be here today.
All right. You got any more you want to look at?
Who's the better iconic character, Han Solo or Indiana Jones?
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
That's Indiana Jones. Shit, I thought that'd be fucking harder. Let's pick a good one here.
How about Indiana Jones versus Laura Croft versus Nathan Drake?
Indiana Jones.
Jones.
Well, fair enough. Okay.
Who made this version of the movie better? Their rendition of it. Disney's Pocahontas or James Cameron's Avatar?
I don't get it.
Who did the movie better? I mean, it's a simple plot line. Like, who did it's Pocahontas in space or it's Pocahontas during Pocahontas?
It's the same movie. I don't understand.
Yeah, but which movie was better?
I thought it was just the same movie. There's two movies.
John, which one is better? The cartoon?
The one that has the raccoon. I like the raccoon.
Are you saying the space one better than the cartoon?
Yes.
Oh my God.
What channel are you on?
I thought this.
I'm gonna mute you.
Why is James Cameron Avatar better than... It's Pocahontas in space. He literally just stole the fucking story, man. Seriously? Yeah. Do you like the Avatar movie?
I don't like the Avatar movie, but if I had to pick the lesser of two evils, that's going to be it.
Okay. I'm watching the cartoon over fucking Avatar any day.
But they use their tails to have sex. They also use their tails to fly the birds. So are they putting their willies inside the birds to fly them?
Right. I said the cartoon.
I still like the raccoon.
Yeah.
Okay. This one's for you, Michael. 100%.
100%. Hundy P. But we'll let John answer
Hundy P. Well, this one's inspired by you.
Okay. All right.
Previous conversations. If you've ever listened to this podcast, you'll understand why I said it's inspired by Michael. Which story mechanic is the bigger cop-out? Using time travel or using the multiverse. And you can't say Marvel that did both. That's not fair.
Let's say time travel.
The bigger cop out?
Yeah. Don't like something, it's just like, oh, I'm going to go back and change this to bring this person back.
I think the biggest, I'm going to go multiverse. Even though I say multiverse all the time.
I got to go multiverse. Because time travel, you're implying that there could be ramifications to your timeline.
And you have to actually explain how it fucking works.
Yeah, multiverse, it's just, oh, things happen differently here.
And he says this because I'm like, oh, is it all a different universe? Because I've said, okay.
Every episode.
Well, listen, if you're talking about Captain America in the comic book, Avengers number fucking 219 versus Captain America from Avengers,
yes,
whichever one of them, just the regular Avengers, they're two different Captain Americas because it's two different mediums. Therefore, they are two different multiverses, which they showed in Doctor Strange when she was like in a fucking cartoon world or some shit. Like, oh, what the fuck? It's a different medium. But it is kind of a cop out to just say, well, isn't that? Oh no, that's just kind of like a recasting in a way. It's just like a different. I don't know. It's just fucking when you do time travel. Like, you have to actually explain it in the story, like, what the fuck's going on. You have to actually put some homework into it, put some elbow grease. So, yeah.
Which is why I'm concerned about Doomsday and if they're going to pull the incursions and everything. Like, is that just how they're going to do a soft reboot? Just, oh, no, this guy was Tony Stark in this world.
I don't know. It's going to piss something's going to piss somebody off. That's all I know.
Oh, for sure.
But how about something that doesn't piss you off? I'm just going to give you a double shot right here. Which one's funnier, Dumb and Dumber or Step Brothers? And part 2... Bill and Ted versus Wayne's World. So, Dumb and Dumber versus Step Brothers, which one's funnier? And Bill and Ted versus Wayne's World, which was the better movies?
Dumb and Dumber and Wayne's World.
John.
Same.
Fuck, okay. Well, there you go. Shit, that was easy. I didn't really like Bill and Ted 2 or 3, so.
All right, John, just because you're in front of me, who would win in a straight-up fight? The Pacific Rim Max or Transformers?
Ooh.
Well, that's the one that stumps him?
You know what? I'm going
to say that one.
Transformers.
Yeah, I'm going to go with more than meets the eye. They're alive, and they could probably just copy the mechs.
I agree. Yeah. Because if you take out the human component, they're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, if they can copy a fucking Corvette, they can copy a mech.
Easily.
This is true.
So who had the better sci-fi vision? Now, which one is the better franchise, which has the better movies or anything, but who actually had the better vision? Gene Roddenberry or George Lucas?
For listeners' sake, can you give just an example of what Gene Roddenberry...
Gene Roddenberry is the creator of Star Trek. George Lucas is the creator of Star Wars. Who had the better vision? Like, when they set out to do this franchise, this, whatever they thought it was going to be, who had the better vision?
George Lucas. Sorry.
John?
I like Star Wars, but I'm going to go with Roddenberry.
I'm choosing Roddenberry as well. Why do you think George Lucas had the better vision?
I think he had...
I'm gonna stomp all over your opinion.
I think he had a much wider story in his head. I just don't think it ever made it out the way it was supposed to. Yes, Star Trek follows, a one-world government, space adventures and everything. But I feel like Star Wars, he had a much more dramatic style of storytelling that just, I don't think it ever made it to the screen the way it was supposed to.
John, earlier, what did you say that George Lucas was inspired by and did? What was that?
Battlestar Galactica.
The Seven Samurai?
Yeah, there's a samurai movie that he took inspiration from.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of the movie, but
the Seven Samurai.
Yeah.
Or The Last Samurai or Seven Samurai. It was something to do with samurais. And what did I say earlier about Campbell's monomyth? That he rewrote the movie for that. So did he really have a vision if he just copied the Seven Samurai and took the monomyth and just put them together? Or did somebody like Gene Roddenberry, who had something, the only thing he said was it's wagon trails in space, which was just meant that it was just ships moving in space. I think the guy that had a whole different universe that had never been fucking done before had the better vision. But that's all good, man. We each have our different opinion.
It's like he wrote that question down ready to defend it.
Yeah, I kind of did.
All right, last one I have written down.
I'll do one more and then we'll be done as well.
Which is more immersive when it comes to D&D? Playing with miniatures, tabletop style, or straight up theater of the mind? Which one do you feel gets you more into the game?
Theater of the mind.
Minis.
I don't actually have an answer here.
You haven't have an answer.
I'm a DM. I'm a DM. I'm right in the middle on this. But if I had to pick one, I would go theater of the mind.
Okay.
I think theater of the mind forces you to pay full attention and visualize what you're actually doing. However, minis allows you to focus more on your character role play because you don't have to worry about thinking about what the room looks like. So there's a very fine balance here, I believe.
We go in theater of the mind. John, why theater of the mind?
So this is gonna sound like ass kissing, because having played with both of you, you both have great ideas for your stories as you're putting them on. So I have an idea of what the world looks like, what the characters look like, how the battle's going. So as I'm rolling and as you're describing everything, I'm picturing everything in my head. Now, granted, we have like minis and stuff on the table, but as you're telling a story, I'm picturing my guy hitting something. You're telling me on Josh, like I roll on that one. You tell me exactly how bad that screw up is.
Oh, it's usually pretty bad.
In my head, I'm picturing frame by frame how it's going. So I just like the idea of theater of the mind. I have an idea of the minis, but like I can get a great idea.
I agree with everything you're saying, but I think some people that play D&D, whether they want to or kind of get forced to, need to see something. And even sometimes I have a great imagination.
Sorry,
I might know what you're saying as well.
I really like that little footnote there.
But I also like to know where my person is on a table.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you need to go spend hundreds of dollars and have minis for me, but hell, I print shit off, I cut it and I put it and I just fucking like tape shit together.
Well, and that's what I was saying. Like when you have minis in a map, it takes, think of like a computer. You're using less of your brain's resources to process where you're at, where the enemy's at, what's going on here. Oh, I got to remember that you just said you moved over here.
I just think it's
you
like
can
useful
focus
tell
more
that answer.
on your character. You can focus more on who you are as your character. That being said, I just think that there's something to be said for if you're not paying full attention and you're not visualizing it as we're discussing it. Now, granted, it not tooting my own horn because I do love theater of the mind, but it takes a good descriptive DM to actually successfully pull off theater of the mind.
And exactly, what if you have a DM that's not that good?
Now, if you want...
It's good to have some visual aids.
Shameless plug here. If you want to know a lot more about Michael and I's opinions on this, go back a few episodes. We had a two-parter that we discussed DMing D&D with a special guest, Nate Glunt. Amazing two-part episode. Go check it out. We dive into this exact topic a heck of a lot deeper.
Yes, we do. Let me ask you a question real quick. When you think of wrestling, what's the first wrestler that comes to your mind?
What's his name? Peacemaker.
John Cena.
That
What's
guy.
the first wrestler that comes to your mind?
Undertaker.
I don't.
All right, Undertaker wins. My last question was who's the most iconic. I know you don't like wrestling. He wasn't an option.
I almost said
That's
Hulk
fine,
Hogan.
Well, he was an option, but he lost 2-1 over Undertaker. So
The Rock.
it was The Rock, Undertaker versus Stone Cold versus
DDP. Yoga.
DDP was a badass back in WCW.
Diamond Dallas
man.
Page.
Hell yeah.
The only reason I know his name
I
is
have
because he
DDP
does a yoga
I know I have it.
thing. Oh, you do?
Yeah, I have it downloaded. I have it.
So what do you guys think? Do we have pretty good debate topics here?
I think we covered all the big ones. I mean, we didn't do a Hulk versus something. I didn't want us to just do fights. Like, let's do fight. Who'd win? I mean, they have death battles for that out there. They're everywhere. I wanted to go outside the box. I wanted to know about like the big franchises, how we felt about different fantasy. And I think John had some really good topics to bring to the table. Makes you think a little bit. I think we all did. I think it was fantastic. John, did you have a good time, or do you think this?
Oh yeah, I put a lot of effort into this. I know there were a couple of ones I had that were a little iffy, but I tried to put some thought into what would make you guys think.
We did a great job. Fantastic.
I like it.
Okay.
All right. Well, let us know what you think. Do you agree with our takes? Do you disagree with our takes? What did we get right? What did we get horribly wrong?
And why didn't we say certain things? Let us know.
Absolutely. Hit us up on X, Instagram, Facebook, or if you are a Patreon member, you can always hit us up on the Tree Fort, the Tree House, or whatever I named it. It's a chat program on Patreon where you can hit us up directly. Let us know what you think. Let us know what your opinions are on different subjects. We'd love to hear it. If you have recommendations for future episodes, please drop them in any of these chats. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave a comment.
Smash the subscribe button.
I know it sounds cliche as hell, but it actually does help us.
I gotta feed my cats, man.
Yeah, right? If you really enjoy what you're hearing, you can jump over to patreon.com/treeofgeek. For $5 a month, you can join our Patreon, where we are dropping exclusive episodes, as well as behind-the-scenes photos, polls for upcoming episodes, and much, much more. And you will absolutely get your name shouted out on every episode. So, John, thank you for being a Patreon member. And Unconfined You, we thank you, as always, both of you, for being Patreon members. We really appreciate the support. And I really think that that's pretty much it.
Should we just start making up Patreon? Thank you, Susie Johnson from Massachusetts, so much.
Thank you, Freddie Myers and Michael Kruger.
One from Haddonfield.
But no, really, we do appreciate all the support we get from everybody. So thank you, as always.
We love you.
And for the Tree of Geek, this is Josh saying that I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Until next time, people.
Oh, is it my turn now?
Until next time, what?
Yeah, like, I'm confused. Is this another debate topic?
Until next time.
Next time what? Whatever, I'm putting the train back in the station. A joke.
Meow.
Is it a cat?
Jinx.